Okay. So let's continue, diba? So yung discussion natin.
Recording in progress.
Okay. So this time, so let's discuss area bounded, diba? So by a rectangular curve. Okay, nako ba? So yan naman yung i-discuss natin. So isa to sa mga application ng integration or ng integral calculus pagdating sa board exam, no? So pagdating kasi sa integral calculus sa board examination, yung usual na lumalabas, diba? Especially sa REES applications, diba? So pero meron din lumalabas na basic integration lang or kumbaga integration problem lang. So kagaya ng sinolve natin kanina, so yung trig sub, diba? So na problem. So tapos yung tapos yung anong tawag dito? Yung Wallis formula, so na problem, diba? So okay, may mga lumalabas na ganun lang pagdating sa board exam. So actually nung September 2021 so na board exam, so sa REE, merong lumabas na parang square root ata ng 1 minus cosine x, no? So integral lang. Okay? So tapos yun lang isosolve, diba? So may mga ganun na lumalabas pagdating sa board examination. Okay? So then aside from that, so we have the applications. So maraming applications yung integral, diba? So we have area, volume, centroid, moment of inertia. So pero ang pinaka-common dyan is area. So kaya yan yung unang-unang kailangan yung aralin pagdating sa integral calculus. No? Pag sinabi natin rectangular curve, so nakabase tayo sa rectangular coordinate system. So luckily for us sa area, two-dimensional lang. Diba? So kaya madali lang yung integration. Okay? So again, so rectangular curve is based on the x and the y coordinates. Diba? So x and y. So kaya basically, sa rectangular curve, so we have y as a function of x or x as a function of y. Diba? So again, so dalawa yung possible way, diba? Or yung common ways natin para mag-solve ng area bounded by rectangular curve. So let's say we have this curve, diba? So and we have this curve, diba? Okay. Okay, so we have this curve here. Itong dalawang curves na to. So ito yung points of intersection natin. Pag nagsasolve kayo ng area bounded by dalawang curve, no? Ang una nyo kailangan i-solve dyan is yung boundaries. Diba? And yung boundaries natin, makikita natin usually sa mga points of intersection. Diba? So kaya dito, so we have this boundary. Okay, so and this boundary here. Okay, nakabasa din. So let's say this is our A, so then this is B. Okay, so again, that's in the x coordinate. Diba? So in terms of the y coordinate naman, so we have this one and this one. Diba? So tawagin naman natin to as C and B. No? So kaya kung i-integrate natin siya in this direction, so then ito yung magiging limits of integration natin. So then kung dito naman natin siya i-integrate, so ito yung limits of integration natin. Diba? So again, so one way, diba? So para mag-solve nito is by using, so we have yung tinatawag nating vertical strips. So vertical strip, diba? So gagawa lang kayo ng rectangle, diba? So basically, so we just consider, for example, this rectangle. Okay, so we have this rectangle here. Okay, nakaba. So then you can imagine na parang pwede kasi natin itong hatiin into parang rectangles, diba? So yung area natin. Okay, so yun, habang pinapaliit natin yung thickness ng rectangle natin, so then mas na-approximate natin yung actual area so bounded by the curve. No? So let's consider, for example, this rectangle here. Diba? So then yung thickness nito, makikita natin is along the x direction, along the x-axis. Therefore, this is delta x. No? So kaya pag in-approach natin to kay 0, diba? So pag pinaliit natin yung delta x, so yung delta x natin will approach dx. Diba? Okay? So as for the height naman ng rectangle natin, so ito yung height ng rectangle. So makikita natin na yung if we consider yung point natin sa curve, diba? So again, so this will just be given by, so again, so this is given by y, diba? So nung upper curve, diba? So y upper. So then ito naman, so mula dito hanggang doon sa x-axis, this will be y lower, diba? So kaya alam natin, so this is simply y upper minus y lower, diba? And since i-consider natin lahat ng vertical strips na rectangle natin mula dito hanggang dito, diba? So kukunan natin ang rectangle yan. Therefore, ito yung direction ng integration natin. Therefore, the limits of integration is from A to B. Madali lang naman siya malaman kasi dx, kayong x yung titignan natin. Diba? So therefore, so if we consider that, diba? So the differential area, that is the area of the rectangle. So it's simply base times height. So that's y upper minus y lower. So then this is multiplied by dx. Diba? So therefore, solving for the area, integrate lang natin yan. Diba? So we have area. So we'll just be equal to integral. So now y upper minus y lower. So then dx. So then this will be from A to B. So again, so this is one way to solve this. Diba? So you can imagine that the other way is by using horizontal strips. Now, so horizontal strips naman natin, we consider a horizontal rectangle. So like this one. Okay, nakuha ba? So horizontal naman yung gagamitin natin. Okay, so kung horizontal rectangle yung gagamitin natin, so we are dealing here with x coordinates. No? So again, this is x in the left, the base boundary. Tapos ito naman yung x natin, so in the right boundary. Diba? So kaya makukuha natin na yung length na to, or yung length ng rectangle natin is the x sa right boundary minus x sa left boundary. Diba? So tapos yung thickness naman ito, diba? So is delta y lang. So kaya habang pinapanipis natin yan, that will approach dy. So kaya pag horizontal strip naman, so dA will be given by, so x sa right boundary minus x sa left boundary. So then area will be given by, okay. So area will be given by, so this is integral from A to B. So this is ng x sa right boundary minus x sa left boundary multiplied by dy. So again, so yan yung magiging equation natin. Diba? Sorry. This will be from C to D naman. No? So kasi makikita natin, so pag ganito naman yung mga rectangles natin dito. Diba? So pataas. Okay? So kaya from C to D. Okay? Nakuha ba? So again, so yun yung area bounded by rectangular curve. No? So again, maganda dito, i-drawing nyo muna yung figure. So para makita nyo yung mga boundaries natin. So tapos para magkaroon kayo ng idea, diba? So kung paano nyo i-solve yung problem. Okay? So let's try an example. So what is the area bounded by the parabola x squared is equal to 8y? So and its latus rectum. No? So again, so yun yung tanong sa problem natin. Okay? So let's try to graph. Diba? So first, okay? So you can imagine yung parabola kasi ganito yung shape niya. Diba? Tapos yung latus rectum, diba? So is a line segment connecting 2 points on the parabola. So na dumadaan sa focus ng parabola natin and perpendicular sa axis. Diba? Yung axis ng parabola is yung line, diba? So which is dividing. So dinidivide nyo, hinahati nyo yung parabola sa 2 equal parts. So like this one. So dumadaan niya sa vertex ng parabola. Then the focus of the parabola is somewhere dun sa axis ng parabola natin. No? So then, okay, so if we draw this line, so passing through the focus, perpendicular sa axis. So yun yung tinatawag nating latus rectum. Kaya ganito yung magiging shape, diba? So na kukunan natin ang area. No? So for this problem. Okay? Okay? So kaya first, let's try to draw, diba? So yung parabola natin. Okay? So we are given this one. So x squared is equal to 8y. So let's change this, diba? So to its standard form. So ang standard form nito will be x squared is equal to, so this is 4 times 2. So lagi kayo mag-factor out ng 4 dito. Diba? Especially pag nag-involve ng latus rectum sa focal point. So our focus, diba? So of the parabola. So then this is multiplied by y. Okay? Okay ba? So again, so pag ganito yung format natin, diba? So as you can see, kung i-compare natin to sa mga standard forms ng parabola natin. So this is kamukha to ng x squared is equal to 4ay. Okay? Nakuha ba? So pag x squared is equal to 4ay, pag ganito yung format natin, so unang-una, so yung vertex natin dito is at the origin. Okay? So isa sa mga important points ng parabola yung vertex, diba? So kasi dyan natin malalaman kung saan nag-change ng direction yung parabola. Okay? So pangalawa, diba? Since ang naka-square dito ay x, diba? So ibig sabihin, this is either opening upward or downward. So and since positive positive yung naka-multiply kay y, so ibig sabihin this is opening upward, diba? So this opens upward. Okay, pag negative naman to, let's say may negative yan dyan, that opens downward. No? Pag y naman yung naka-square, that's either opening to the right or to the left. Positive pag to the right, negative pag to the left. So kaya dito meron na tayong idea dun sa orientation ng parabola natin. So kailangan na lang natin kumuha ng points para alam natin kung saan dumadaan yung parabola. And for that, diba, it's better to use the points of intersection. Diba? So ano ba yung points of intersection natin? So again, that will be, diba? So that should satisfy this equation kasi dapat nandun siya sa parabola. And also, it should satisfy the equation for that latus rectum. So nasan ba yung latus rectum natin? So if you know properties of parabola, diba? Kung alam niyo yung property ng parabola natin, kung ito yung vertex, ito yung focus, yung layo ng focus natin from the vertex is A. So then yung layo mula dito sa latus rectum hanggang sa focus is 2A. So then this is also 2A. Okay? Naka ba? So lagi niyo itong tatandaan pagdating sa parabola. Okay? Naka ba? So kaya makikita natin na yung focus natin, so since this is opening upward, so yung focus natin nasa taas ng vertex. Diba? Kaya kung vertex natin is at 0, 0, so ano ba yung A natin? So A is this one. Diba? So 2. So ibig sabihin this is 2 units. Okay? So this is 2 units. Diba? So ibig sabihin yung focus natin so is located. Diba? So at, okay? So nasa taas siya. So y coordinate lang yung magbabago. Pero yung x coordinate natin stays the same. So therefore this is still at 0. So then 2 units. Diba? So nandiyan yung focal point natin. So 0, 2. Diba? So therefore yung latus rectum natin is a horizontal line. Pag horizontal line, ang equation natin is y is equal to some constant b. Diba? So therefore, so yung b na gagamitin natin dito is itong y coordinate ng focus. So 2. So therefore, ito yung ating equation, diba? So for the latus rectum. Okay? Nakuha ba? So or gamitin na lang natin yung knowledge natin sa parabola so para mag-graph natin. So kasi once alam na natin yung vertex, alam natin na opens upward, tapos alam natin itong number na to, itong value na to. So we can easily graph, diba? So yung parabola natin. So diretso na tayo sa graphing. Okay? So opening upward, so with vertex at the origin. Okay? Okay, so let's say this is our x-axis, y-axis, then origin. No? So again, so first, diba? So we have vertex at the origin. So ito yung vertex V natin. Okay, nakuha ba? So this is at the origin 0, 0. Okay. Pangalawa, so again, ito yung A natin. So again, yung A natin represents the distance between the focus and the vertex. This opens upward. So kaya alam natin focus is above the vertex. Diba? So bibilang tayo ng 2 units dito. Okay, so we have 2 units. So then dito yung focus natin. Diba? So again, along the axis. Diba? Since this is opening upward, alam natin vertical yung axis nun. So again, so this will be given by 0, 2. Diba? So again, na-explain ko sa inyo kanina. Diba? So then, so again, yung sa focus natin, so remember yung sa figure na binigay ko sa inyo kanina. So again, if this is the focus, this is the vertex. So again, if this is equal to A, this is 2A and this is 2A. Diba? Since this is 2 units, so ibig sabihin 4 units sa kanan, saka 4 units sa kaliwa, yung endpoints ng latus rectum natin. Diba? So therefore, we count 4 units here. Okay, so kaya nandito yung isang endpoint ng latus rectum. Tawagin natin as R. No? So then, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So nandito yung other point of the latus rectum. So ito yung L. So ibig sabihin, diba? So ito yung latus rectum natin. Diba? And as you can see again, so this is a horizontal line. Okay? So we have a horizontal line. So passing through, y is equal to 2. Diba? So yung latus rectum natin, so can be treated as, so y is equal to 2. So again, basta horizontal line yung equation natin dyan, y is equal to 2, diba? So or y is equal to a constant. No, sorry, not y is equal to 2. Y is equal to a constant. Diba? So basta horizontal line. Pag vertical line naman, x is equal to a constant. No? So therefore, so again, these two endpoints are on the parabola. So ibig sabihin, ito yung parabola na hinahanap natin. So again, sa vertex, dapat mag-change siya ng direction. Diba? So kasi kanina pababa, so ito pababa. Diba? So then pagdating dito, pataas naman siya. Okay? Nakabasa again. So ito yung area so na gusto natin i-solve. No? So again, so itong parabola na to is given by this equation. So i-rewrite na lang natin as y is equal to, so we have x squared over 8. Okay? So again, so that's our problem. Okay? Nakuha ba? So any questions sa figure natin? Kaya makikita natin, so this is the upper boundary. So upper boundary to, diba? So then this is our lower boundary. Okay? Nakuha ba? So let's consider vertical strips muna, no? So again, so using vertical strips, so let's draw a rectangle here. So again, so let's consider this rectangle. So again, as you can see, so yung thickness niya is along the x-axis, so therefore that will be dx. Since i-approach niya yung 0. So then as for the length, diba? So again, this is just y upper minus y lower. So again, ito yung upper, ito yung lower. Diba? So therefore, okay, so let's solve for the differential area of this rectangle. So again, that is equivalent to y upper minus y lower. So this is dx. Okay? Ang y upper natin is equal to 2. Ang y lower natin is equal to x squared over 8. So this is x squared over 8. So this quantity, dx. Diba? So then solving for the area, so kailangan lang natin itong i-integrate. Diba? So you have 2 minus x squared over 8 dx. Okay? So again, ito yung boundary natin. So from here, this is negative 4 kasi 4 units sa kaliwa. Tapos ito naman ay positive 4. So kasi 4 units sa kanan. Diba? So therefore, this will be from negative 4 to 4. So pero kung alam niyo yung properties ng parabola, diba? So alam natin na yung parabola is symmetric with respect to its axis. So again, remember, ito yung axis natin. So kaya ibig sabihin itong axis na to, hinahati niyo yung parabola into 2 equal parts. Kaya ibig sabihin, pwede nga i-consider lang natin is yung right-hand side or yung left-hand side lang. Pwedeng kalahati lang, so then multiply natin ng 2. So therefore, another way here, pwede ko siyang gawing 2. So tapos yung integral natin, diba? So we'll just arrange, diba? Mula sa 0, mula sa x is 0, so hanggang x is 4. So pareho lang yung kalalabasan nito. Okay? Okay? So again, so pag na-set up niyo na yung equation na yan, you can just use your calculator. Okay? So pero pag nagre-review kayo, so try nyo mag-solve by hand. Diba? So again, so para masanay din kayo sa calculation. Okay? So baga practice lang. Diba? Okay? So kasi pag binabasa nyo lang tapos hindi nyo pinapractice, diba? So then, pagdating sa actual, mahihirapan din kayo. So kaya dapat pinapractice nyo talaga. No? Okay? So this is 32 over 3. So we have letter B. Okay? So again, another way, diba? So is by using horizontal strips, no? Okay? So horizontal strips naman, okay? So again, so kahit dito na lang tayo sa kalahati mag-focus. Okay, nakuha ba? So kasi makikita niyo naman so na pag dinrawing natin yung nasa other half nito, 'di ba? So pareho lang yung makukuha nating rectangle sa half na to. So pwede i-consider lang natin yung kalahati, so then multiply lang natin sa 2 sa afterwards, 'di ba? So yung buong area natin. Okay? So again, so this will just be dy in this case, 'di ba? Ito naman yung limits of integration natin. So from the vertex that is 0 hanggang sa focus 2, 'di ba? So then yung magiging boundaries naman natin dito, una is the y-axis. Y-axis is a vertical line passing through x is equal to 0. Kaya x is equal to 0 hanggang dun sa parabola natin. Diba? And again, from this parabola, solving for x, so you will get square root of 8y. Diba? So kaya pwede rin natin gawin dito. Diba? So as we get the differential area. So again, ito yung para sa vertical strips. So again, ito naman yung sa horizontal strip. Okay? So this is equal to, so again, so x sa kanan minus x sa kaliwa. Diba? So then this is dx. So yung x sa kanan, diba? So is given by square root of 8y. So yung x sa kaliwa naman is given by 0. So this is just 0. Okay? So then this should be dy. Okay? So this is dy. Diba? So again, so this is dA. So then solving for the area, so then area will be, so this is from 0 to 2. So this is 0 to 2. Diba? So then square root of 8y. Okay. So this is from 0 to 2. So then square root of 8y dy. No? Okay, so again, so pero kalahati lang yan. So kaya kailangan din natin itong i-multiply sa 2. Okay? Okay ba? So pag ang ginawa nyo dito is binuo nyo itong rectangular strip na to. Diba? So then ito yung magiging boundary natin sa left. No? So yung boundary natin sa left is also the parabola. So remember na pag kinuha mo yung square root nito, plus or minus dapat yung lalabas diyan. Yung nasa kanan is the positive, yung nasa kaliwa yung negative. Okay? Nakuha ba? So kaya ibig sabihin ganun din yung kalalabasan, no? So kasi pag binuo natin to, you will get positive square root of 8y sa kanan, negative square root of 8y sa kabila. So kaya pag in-apply natin yung equation, so magiging siyang ganito. Diba? Okay, so you will get 2 square root of 8y. So pag finactor out mo yung 2, ganito rin yung kalalabasan. Diba? So kaya, okay, so kaya pwedeng kalahati na lang consider nyo, then multiply nyo lang ng 2. No? So if we try to solve for this area, so we have 2 integral, so ng square root of 8y. So palitan nyo lang yung y ng x, kasi x lang yung nasa calculator. Okay, so this will be given by, so medyo mabagal. So this is square root of 8y. So again, gawin lang natin tong x, diba? So kasi yan lang yung available sa calculator. So this from 0 to 2, so naka-multiply sa 2. Okay. So medyo matagal lang siya kasi merong square root. So I think mas mabilis to. May lumabas sa calculator. Okay, so 10.6667. No? So 10.6667 is 32 over 3 as well. No? Okay. So we have 32 divided by 3. So we have 10.66667. No? So kaya 33 over 3 yung sagot natin sa problem na. Sorry, 32 over 3. Okay, so pareho lang ilalabas. So gamitin nyo lang kung ano mas convenient sa inyo. So para sa akin na mas convenient dito, vertical strip, diba? Kasi walang square root. So napansin nyo dun sa pag-integrate natin sa calcu, mas mabilis na palabas to compare dito, diba? So kasi dito merong square root, no? So isa yan sa mga iniiwasan natin pagdating sa board exam, no? So square root, okay? So mga radicals, diba? So yan kasi yung nagpapakomplikado minsan sa equations natin, okay? So kaya ako pag meron akong option, so na isang solution na walang radical, so versus isang solution na may radical, diba? So then mas pinipili ko yung walang radical. So even though minsan mas mahaba yung pagsisimplify niya, diba? Okay? Okay, so any questions? Diba? Okay. So syempre we have another way to solve this problem, and that is by using direct formulas. Right? Okay ba? Okay? So paano natin ito i-solve using direct formula? Okay? So again, so if you are familiar with the parabolic segment, diba? So ganito yung parabolic segment natin. Okay? So again, so by definition, so again, so ito yung parabola natin. This is a parabola. Okay? So and ito yung base ng parabola natin. So this is the vertex of the parabola. So this is the axis of the parabola. No? Pag may given sa atin na parabolic segment, so this is the height of the parabola. This is the base of the parabola. So tatandaan nyo yung direct formula na to. So the area, diba, is given by 2/3 base times height. No? So again, direct formula to for a parabolic segment. Okay? Naka ba? So yan. Diba? So actually madali lang yung matandaan. Diba? So ibase nyo lang sa triangle. Diba? So pag given kayo ng triangle, for example, so this is height h with a base b. So ano yung area ng triangle? Area is 1/2 base times height. Diba? Okay, so then kung i-compare nyo to, so itong 1, dagdagan nyo lang ng 1. Itong 2, dagdagan nyo lang ng 1, makukuha nyo to. Diba? Okay, so we have 2/3 base times height. So kasi actually meron yung direct formula, diba? So depende dun sa curve, diba? So na kino-consider natin. Dito kasi parabola to, diba? So dito naman, this is a linear equation, diba? So linear is degree 1 polynomial, diba? Parabola is a degree 2 polynomial, diba? So makikita natin yung equation natin dito. Ito yung degree natin. So let's say n yung degree. So then yung nasa denominator is mas malaki lang ng isa. So n over n plus 1 base times height. So ito actually yung equation natin for area of any polynomial segment. Diba? Kaya pag cubic function, so let's say this is a cubic function. So instead of a parabola, diba? So kumbaga third degree polynomial yung naka-enclose sa kanya. So then magiging siyang 3/4 base times height. No? Pag naman siya ay 4th degree polynomial, magiging siyang 4/5 base times height. Diba? So kaya again, so madali din matandaan yung 2/3 base times height. No? Isa yun sa mga memoryahin nyo kasi madalas yung lumabas sa board exam. Parabola, area ng parabola, madalas nyo yung magagamit pagdating sa board exam. No? So kaya I-suggest memorize nyo yung 2/3 base times height. Madali lang naman tandaan. Diba? So again, so if we know that direct formula, so using the direct formula natin, okay? So we know the area, so to be equal to 2/3 base times height. So ano yung base ng parabola natin dito? Ito yung base natin, yung length ng latus rectum. Diba? So that will be from 4 to negative 4. So 4 minus negative 4 is 8. So therefore, that's 8 units. Diba? So, and for the height, ito yung height niya. Diba? So that is from 0 hanggang 2. That is 2 units. Diba? So kaya lalabas dito is 32 over 3 as well. Diba? So sobrang ikli lang ng solution. Okay? So any questions para dito? Okay. So let's try another example. Diba? So we have, find the position value of C such that the area of the region bounded by the parabola y is equal to x squared minus c and y is equal to c squared minus x squared is equal to 576. No? Okay? So dito kayo na yung bahala kung gusto nyo gumamit ng integration. Diba? So pero itatry natin itong isolve using just the direct formula. Diba? So kasi simple lang naman yung equation. Diba? Or simple lang yung magiging solution natin dito. So first, let's try to graph. No? So again, so ang way natin sa pag-graph is kukunin muna natin yung standard form, so ng parabola natin. Sa standard form, naka-isolate lang yung naka-square na variable. So kaya dito yung naka-square na variable is x, diba? So we have x squared, so it's equal to, so this will be y. So then that is plus c squared. Okay, so this is our standard form. So makikita natin yung pinakamalapit sa kanyang format, diba? So it's in the form x minus h squared. So kasi meron ka ng plus c squared dito. So kaya hindi na natin pwedeng gamitin yung ginamit natin kanina na x squared is equal to 4ay lang. Diba? So this is 4a. So yun yung constant na nakamultiply sa y. So then this is multiplied by y minus k. Diba? So in this instance, diba? So pwede mong isipin kasi dito na may nakamultiply ka na 1 dito. Yung 1 na yan yung 4a. Diba? So kaya basically standard form na to. Okay? Naka ba? So again, so pag ganito yung format natin, so yung vertex natin dito is nasa HK. So wala siya sa origin. Diba? So kaya ibig sabihin dito, diba? So yung vertex natin, so will be located at 0. So tapos we have negative c squared. Okay? Okay? So again, so then also, so again, x yung naka-square. So then positive yung naka-multiply kay y. So ibig sabihin, this is opening upward. No? So again, so this opens upward. Okay? Okay? Pangalawa, na kailangan nating ma-solve dito is, okay? So we have yung y is equal to c squared minus x squared. So ito yung pangalawang parabola na given. So again, rearranging this, so you will get x squared will be equal to negative. So ng y minus c squared. No? So kasi pag nilipat ko tong y dito sa kabila, magiging negative y. Yung positive c squared, pag finactor out mo yung negative 1, magiging negative c squared. No? So again, yung format naman ng equation natin, so sa standard forms ng parabola is of the form x minus h squared. So this is equal to negative, kasi negative yan. So this is 4a times y minus k. So again, so in this case, so the vertex is located at hk pa rin. And since negative yan, tapos x yung naka-square, this opens downward. Okay? Okay ba? So which means, what will be the vertex here? Vertex is at 0, positive c squared naman. Okay? Okay ba? And pangatlo, di ba, na kailangan natin i-solve are the points of intersection. So para ma-drawing natin na maayos yung parabola natin. So ang gagawin lang natin, equate lang natin yung dalawang y na to. Di ba? So if we equate them, so you will get that x squared minus c squared is equal to c squared minus x squared. No? So if we try to solve this, so you will get 2x squared is equal to 2c squared. So yung x natin is equal to positive or negative c. Diba? So for x is equal to positive c, so ano ilalabas na value ng y? So we can just use this equation. So y is equal to 0. Diba? So kasi x, c, so c squared minus c squared is 0. Diba? So pag ang ginamit naman natin is x is equal to negative c, so ganun din yung lalabas na y. Y is 0. So therefore, this is at c0. So then this one is at negative c0. Okay? Okay ba? So which means, pag ginraph natin to, okay? So x-axis, y-axis, origin. Diba? So plot natin yung mga points. Okay? So first, we have 0, negative c squared. So 0, negative c squared. So let's say this is negative c squared. So ito yan. Diba? So then yung 0 positive c squared naman is nasa kabilang side. Since pareho silang c squared pero ito positive, so therefore dapat magkasing layo lang sila sa origin. So this is positive c squared. So ito naman yung vertex ng pangalawang curve. No? Okay, so then so for the points of intersection, we have C0. So let's say ito yung C0. So then ito naman yung negative C0. Diba? So this is negative C. Okay? So therefore, ito yung unang parabola natin. So again, dumadaan sa point of intersection. And ito yung vertex. Okay? So then, so para naman sa second curve natin, so we have this parabola here. Okay? Nakuha ba? So kaya makikita natin, so pag hinati ko siya dito, so we will form a parabolic segment here. Then we form another parabolic segment here. Diba? So and for both this parabolic segment, diba, makikita natin na yung height nila is pareho lang na c squared. Diba? So this is also c squared. Okay? So tapos yung base naman nila, diba? So yung length naman na to. Okay? So this is the base. So we have c minus negative c, that is simply 2c. Diba? So therefore, so what's the total area bounded? So total area bounded is equal to dun sa area dun sa taas, diba? So area, so above, plus yung area sa baba, diba? So plus area below. Diba? So then this will be given by 2/3. So ano yung base nung nasa taas? 2c. So ano yung height nung nasa taas? c squared. Plus 2/3. So dun sa nasa baba naman, ang base ay 2c. Ang height naman niya ay c squared. No? So again, the total area is 576. Diba? So simplifying, so this is 2/3 times 2 is 4/3 plus 4/3, that's 8/3. So then c cubed. Diba? So then solving for c, so this will just be 576 times 3 divided by 8, so then cube root. No? So you will get c is equal to 6. Diba? So again, direct formula lang yung ginamit natin. Okay? So pwede nyo rin gamitan to, kaya sinabi ko kanina, pwede nyo rin gamitan ng integration, di ba? So yung area kasi natin dito will just be the integral. So from negative c to positive c, okay? So ano yung upper boundary natin? So yung nasa taas. Ito yung nasa taas na, okay? So we have c squared minus x squared. Okay, so minus yung nasa baba, ito naman yung nasa baba. So that is x squared minus c squared. Okay, so then this quantity dx. Diba? So pero meron kayo ditong variable na c, diba? So kaya manual integration lang yung pwede nyo gamitin dyan. So tapos magiging in terms ng c yung area na to, ito rin yung masosolve nyo dyan. Diba? Equate nyo lang sa 576. Okay? Okay? So kaya kayo yung bahala kung gusto nyo gamitin ng integration. Diba? So pero yung mas madaling way dyan is pag alam nyo yung direct formula. Okay? So any questions for this part? Okay. Okay, so let's proceed to the next topic. No? Okay, so this time, so we have area bounded by a polar curve naman, diba? So again, sa polar curve, so means, so yung equation na given sa atin sa polar equation. So kaya nang sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, so back in differential calculus, diba? Differential calculus yan. Differential calculus, okay? So again, so yung polar equation natin so is defined by the r coordinate and the theta coordinate system, diba? So yung r natin is the distance from the origin. So yung theta naman natin is the angle with respect to that x-axis, no? Okay? So yung idea naman natin pagdating sa mga gantong uri ng problem so is, okay? So let's consider again so yung coordinate system natin, diba? So ito naman nakabase to sa isang parang imagine nyo parang circular, no? Okay, so let's say we are given so this figure, okay? Nakaba? So again, so ito yung ating points of intersection. So again, so yun yung magde-define sa atin so ng limits of integration natin, di ba? So basically ito yung magiging let's say theta, ito yung magiging angle A natin. So tawagin ko to as A. So ito naman yung tawagin natin as B. So yun yung magiging limits of integration natin for theta. Di ba? Tapos basically, so starting from the origin, 'di ba? So imagine niyo lang na magdo-drawing kayo ng line dito palabas. 'Di ba? So makikita natin na kahit saan natin siya padaanin dun sa figure, 'di ba? So makikita natin na dumadaan muna siya dito sa curve na 'to bago siya dadaan sa curve na 'to, 'di ba? So therefore, so itong curve na 'to so will be our outside boundary. So rin ito naman yung magiging inside boundary natin. Okay? So basically, if we consider, for example, itong interval na to, so let's consider this interval, diba? So we have this one. So again, so imagine nyo lang tong arc na to. Okay? So itong parang medyo mukhang rectangle din na arc, diba? So again, so if you consider this, diba? So yung angle natin dito will just be delta theta, diba? So as delta theta approaches 0, so this will approach d theta, diba? So tapos as for the radius naman natin, so again, so yung isang point sa curve natin, so again, so yung layo nito from the origin will just be defined as the r inside, diba? So ito yung ri natin. So let me use another color. Okay? So again, so let's consider this point on the curve, diba? So yung layo nito from the origin, so this length, diba? So this is our r sub I, diba? So yan yung r or radius ng inside curve, diba? So again, remember ito yung inside curve natin. Okay? So for the outside boundary naman, so again, so we can consider this point here. So ito naman yung radius ng outside boundary natin. So tawagin natin as RO. Diba? So and remember yung shape niya is parang circular arc, no? Or circular, ano tawag dito? Circular sector. Diba? So yung tatandaan natin pagdating sa circular sector, ang area nito is equal to 1/2 radius squared multiplied by the subtended angle theta. So ito yung theta, so yan yung arc. Okay? So basically pag kinuha natin tong area na to, that is area of yung sector ng outside outside curve natin minus yung sector ng inside curve natin. So therefore, okay, yung magiging equation natin dito is the differential area for the sector so will be given by 1/2, diba? So then, so this is r outside squared minus r inside squared. So then this is multiplied by d theta. Okay? So then solving for the area, so i-integrate lang natin to. So this is 1/2 integral. So then this is r outside squared minus r inside squared d theta. So limits of integration from theta is equal to a to theta is equal to b. So this from a to b. Okay? So again, so this is our area bounded by a polar curve. Kasi nga sa polar curve, r and theta yung given. Diba? So kaya mas magandang gamitin yung ganitong form ng area. So pero syempre another option nyo is you can convert, diba? So from polar curve to rectangular curve. So pero para sa karamihan kasi ng polar curve natin, mahirap silang i-convert sa rectangular curve. Or kung mako-convert man natin siya sa rectangular curve, diba? So mahihirapan din tayo mag-solve ng area. So using yung rectangular strips natin. So yung vertical saka horizontal strip. No? Especially kung medyo unfamiliar yung area na lalabas. Okay? So let's try to solve that. Example, so problem number 5. Okay, so find the area enclosed by the lemniscate of a Bernoulli, diba? So r squared is equal to a squared cosine 2 theta. So if you are familiar with the lemniscate of Bernoulli, ganito yung shape niya. Okay, so this is the lemniscate. Okay, nakaba? So infinity sign. Okay, yan yung tinatawag natin as the lemniscate of Bernoulli. Okay, kung alam niyo yung direct formula, diba? So pag ganito, so r squared is equal to a squared cosine 2 theta or r squared is equal to a squared sine 2 theta. So ganitong dalawang to, ang direct formula dyan for the area bounded by the lemniscate of Bernoulli is just equal to a squared. So yung naka-multiply lang dun sa sign natin. Okay? So by the way, itong lemniscate, tinatawag din natin to sa two-leaf rows. Diba? So kasi yung mga rows natin sa polar curves, diba? So ganito yung shape ng mga rows natin. Okay? Okay ba? So this is a 5-leaf rows, diba? Okay, so kaya yung lemniscate of Bernoulli pwede mo i-consider as a two-leaf rows. Okay, okay ba? So kaya yung format ng equation natin sa kanya kamukha din sa rows. Okay? So again, so ito yung direct formula natin sa pag-lemniscate. So kaya alam natin kaagad yung sagot dito, letter C. No? So pero kung hindi nyo alam yan, diba? So then, so we can use integration to solve the problem. Okay? So let me try to graph first, diba? So yung problem natin, okay? Pag mag-graph kayo ng polar curve, diba? So yung isang pinakamabilis na way, diba? Or pinakamadaling way, so is by using points, diba? So kukuha lang tayo ng points so dun sa curve natin. So tapos i-graph lang natin siya sa polar coordinate system. So tapos ifa-follow lang natin yung mga points na yun, diba? So pero kung gusto niyo ng mas accurate, diba? So nag-graph so ng polar curve, okay, so pwede kayong gumamit ng mga properties, diba? So pwede kayong gumamit ng differential calculus to get these loops. So pwede kayong gumamit ng limits, diba? So kung ano yung ina-approach, diba? So nung curve natin at some specific points. Okay, mga ba? So you can just analyze, diba? So by using yung makukuha natin ng mga points, diba? Okay? So let's try this one, diba? Okay. So we have r squared, so is equal to a squared cosine of 2 theta. Okay, so then, so you will get that r is simply equal to a, so times square root of cosine of 2 theta. Diba? So again sa inyo equation. Remember that this is positive or negative. Diba? So pero dahil doon sa symmetry ng lemniscate, so actually hindi na siya nagmamatter. Okay, nakuha ba? So ang kunin na lang natin is yung positive r. Okay, nakuha ba? So makukuha na rin natin yung negative counterpart nito kasi gagamit tayo ng symmetry. Diba? So dun sa problem. Okay, nakuha ba? So then, so ibig sabihin ito lang yung kailangan nating evaluate. So for some values of theta. So ang gamitin ko lang values of theta dito is from 0 to 90 degrees. Diba? So theta. So then ito yung value ng r. Diba? So let's use radians. Kasi naka-radians yung calculator ko dito sa computer. So we have 0. Diba? So then let's try pi over 3. O pi over 6. Oh, sige. Pi over 4 na lang. So I think ito lang yung kailangan natin. Ayun, sige. Pi over 6 na lang. Para mas makita natin yung itsura. Ay, hindi. Wala tong value sa pi over 4. So let's use pi over 8. No, so again, pi over 8. So then pi over 4. So then 3 pi over 8. Diba? So then pi over 2. So again, so hanggang 90 degrees lang. Diba? So then, so let's use the calculator. Okay? So ang gagamitin ko dito is the table mode. Diba? So kasi marami tayong isosolve. Diba? Kaya mas madali ito pag ginamitan natin ng table mode. Since hindi natin may papasok tong constant na to dito, diba? So then we can just factor that out. Then evaluate lang natin tong square root na to. So therefore, let's use square root of cosine ng 2x. Diba? Okay? So again, naka-radians naman to. So kaya wala tayong problem doon. So just press equals. Okay? So sa calculator natin sa 570s plus wala yung g of x. No? So kaya lagi ko na siya nilalaktawan dito sa calculator na to. So f of x lang yung meron. Yung start natin ay 0. So we enter 0. Yung end natin ay pi over 2. So we have pi over 2. So tapos, ang step natin, as you can see dito, nag-a-add lang tayo na nag-a-add ng pi over 8. Diba? So therefore, so we have pi over 8. Okay? So then, so ito yung mga values natin. So isulat lang natin dito. So yung r natin, so again, if x is 0, so yung r natin is 1. So ayon sa calculator, times a, so this is a. Diba? Okay, so then, so pag pi over 8, that's 0.841. So times a, so this is 0.841a. Okay? Pag pi over 4, 0 times a, that's still 0. So pag naman siya ay, okay, so ito yung 3 pi over 8, so error. So ito yung wala siyang value dito. And pag pi over 2, that's also error. Diba? So wala din siyang value dito. Okay? So ibig sabihin hanggang pi over 4 lang yung value natin. Diba? So which makes sense naman kasi pag lumampas ka ng pi over 4, what will happen here? Diba? So if yung theta natin is greater than pi over 4, so yung 2 theta mo will be greater than pi over 2. Pag lumampas ka ng pi over 2, yung cosine of 2 theta mo, so will be less than 0. Diba? So kasi ganito yung graph ng cosine. Diba? So ito yung pi over 2. Okay? So kaya pag lumampas ka sa pi over 2, magne-negative yung cosine mo. And pag nag-negative yung cosine mo, pag kinuha mo yung square root, diba? So you will get an undefined number. Imaginary yung number. Diba? So kaya wala siyang solution, diba, sa pagdating sa values at greater than pi over 4. Okay? So kaya pag lumampas ka sa pi over 4, so hanggang pi over 2 na yan, so rin walang value yung lemniscate natin. So kaya hanggang dito lang. Okay? So yung values natin. Okay? So now, so let's do some test of symmetry, diba? So yung tatandaan natin pagdating sa polar curve, diba? So consider this point here. So pag ikaw ay symmetric with respect to the x-axis, diba? So ibig sabihin, so we will get this point. So again, pag sinabi natin symmetric, so parang mini-mirror lang natin yung point with respect sa x-axis. Kaya kung ano yung distance na to, siya rin yung distance na to. So if this is y, this is also y. No? So if this is r, this is also r. If this is theta, this is also theta. No? So again, so mirroring. Diba? So yun ang nangyayari sa symmetry natin. So yung makikita natin in terms of the polar curve, so hindi magbabago yung radius coordinate niya. Pero yung theta niya, so will change direction. Diba? From counterclockwise to clockwise, kaya yung positive theta, magiging negative theta. Diba? So which means pag pinalitan ko yung theta ng negative theta and hindi nagbago yung r, so ang ibig sabihin niyan, diba? So is symmetric siya with respect to the x-axis, no? So kaya dito pag sinolve natin sa theta is equal to negative theta, so then you will get r squared is equal to a squared cosine of 2 times negative theta. So again, if you know properties of cosine theta, cosine of negative theta is just equal to cosine of theta, diba? So that's why this will become a squared cosine 2 theta, diba? So meaning, so hindi nagbago yung equation natin, diba? The same equation lang yan. Kahit palitan mo yung theta ng negative theta. So this means so that this is symmetric, diba? So with respect to x-axis. Okay? Okay ba? Pag naman ni-reflect natin siya with respect sa y-axis, no? So again, like this one. So therefore, so if this is x, this is also x, no? Again, if this is theta, so then this is also theta. Okay? Okay ba? So therefore, yung angle naman natin dito so will be 180 minus theta. So pero yung radius niya, 'di ba? The radius coordinate stays the same. So r pa rin 'to, 'di ba? So kasi symmetric with respect sa y-axis. So if we replace theta so by 180 minus theta, so then okay, so tapos pareho lang yung lalabas na equation, symmetric din siya with respect sa y-axis. No? So kaya if we try, so theta is equal to 180 minus theta. So substitute, okay, so this will be a squared, so then cosine of 2 times 180 minus theta. Okay, so this will be a squared cosine of 360 minus 2 theta. So pag ginamitan natin yan ng difference identity, diba? So cos cosine sin, so cosine 360, cosine 2 theta, so then plus sine 360, sine 2 theta. Diba? So then, so ano yung sine 360? Sine 360 is 0. So ano yung cosine 360? 1. So therefore, babalik lang siya sa a squared cosine 2 theta. Diba? So as you can see, diba? Okay, so walang pinagbago sa original equation. So therefore, this is also symmetric, diba? So with respect sa y-axis. So yun yung reason kaya hanggang 90 degrees lang yung kinuha ko. Ito kasi quadrant 1 to. So these are all in quadrant 1. So kaya pag nakuha na natin yung sa quadrant 1, since symmetric siya with respect to the x-axis and symmetric siya with respect sa y-axis, so i-reflect lang natin siya. I-mirror lang natin yung curve natin, diba? So with respect sa x and y-axis, no? Okay? So try natin siyang i-graph. Okay. So actually makakatulong din sa atin yan pagdating sa integration. Kasi kung symmetric siya with respect to the x and the y-axis, pwede nating hatiin yung curve sa 4 parts. Solve lang natin yung area ng 1 part, so then multiply lang natin ng 4. Diba? So ay magiging mas maikli yung ating limits of integration. No? Okay. So now, diba? So let's try to graph. Okay, nakabasa yung polar curve natin. So again, so ano yung mga points natin? So nag-given dito. Okay, so we have 0A. So let's consider this as A. So ito yung isang point natin. Okay, so hindi pa. Theta is equal to 0, so r is equal to a, so tama lang. So ito kasi yung theta is equal to 0, diba? So yun yung x-axis, okay? So this is theta is equal to 0, okay? Tapos yung radius niya is yung distance from the origin, so kaya tama lang na 8, diba? Okay? So theta is pi over 8, so ito yung pi over 4, so yung kalahati niya is pi over 8, so ito yung theta is pi over 8. So again, at pi over 8 naman, so we have 0.8418. So mas maliit siya sa 8, diba? So ito yung circle, so with radius A, diba? Okay? Okay? So then, okay, so ibig sabihin, so mas maikli siya sa 8, diba? So kaya around here yung, let's say, 0.8418. Okay? So at pi over 4, so again, ito yung pi over 4, so yung radius natin ay 0. So ito yung radius is 0. Diba? Then after nyan, wala na siyang value. So ibig sabihin, ito lang yung makikita natin sa first quadrant. Okay? So you will get, so this curve. Okay? Naka ba? So tapos, since symmetric siya with respect sa x-axis, diba? So ibig sabihin, pwede natin itong kopyahin dun sa kabila ng x-axis natin. So pag kinopya lang natin yan, or ni-reflect lang natin, diba? So you will form something like this. No? Okay? So tapos symmetric din siya with respect to the y-axis, so kaya pwede rin natin kopyahin dun sa y-axis natin. So you will form the infinity sign. Diba? So gaya ng sabi ko kanina, due to symmetry, pag hinati natin to sa apat na parts, so lahat ng area na to are just equal. Diba? So kasi nga symmetric sila with respect sa x and y axis. No? So kaya pwedeng i-consider lang natin dito itong isa. So let's consider this one. Okay, nakuha ba? Then isosolve natin yung area nito. So then multiply it by 4. Okay, nakuha ba? So again, pagdating sa mga polar curve, so start kayo sa origin. So then, drawing kayo ng line palabas. Diba? So let's say we have this line and this line. Okay, nakuha ba? So makikita natin, so dito sa figure na to, this is bounded outside by the lemniscate. Diba? So ito yung lemniscate natin. So this is the outside boundary. And yung inside boundary natin is itong nasa origin. So this is our inside boundary. Diba? So again, yung inside boundary natin is the radius, is the origin. So yung origin natin is at radius is equal to 0. So kaya r is equal to 0 yan. So yung outside naman natin, so is yung lemniscate. So yun yung r squared is equal to a squared cosine of 2 theta. Okay? Nakaba? So therefore, okay, so solving for this bounded area, so again, tawagin natin yan as our differential area dA. So this is equivalent to, so 1/2. So again, this is r outside minus squared minus r inside squared multiplied by d theta. Diba? So then this will be 1/2. So again, ano yung outside boundary natin? That is this one. Diba? So ang naka-square na to, kaya kokopyahin lang natin to. So a squared, so this is cosine of 2 theta. So then, okay, so para sa r inside naman, r inside is 0. So kaya this will just cancel. So then this will be multiplied by d theta. So solving for the final area, so this will just be equal to 4 kasi apat na parts to. Diba? Multiplied by, so 1/2. Okay, so times integral. So nito. So a squared is also constant. So i-factor out ko na rin siya. So this is a squared. So then this will be cosine of 2 theta d theta. Diba? So again, so ano yung boundaries natin of integration? So from theta is 0 hanggang pi over 4 lang. So kasi wala ka namang value dito. Diba? So kaya dito 0 to pi over 4 lang. Okay? So again, so if you solve this integration sa calculator, make sure naka-radians mode kayo. So para hindi kayo magkamali. Okay? Okay, so we have integral. So ng cosine of 2 theta. Diba? So this is from 0 to pi over 4. Okay. So tapos dito 4 divided by 2 is 2. So i-cancel ko na to. So then this is equal to 2a squared. So then this is multiplied by, okay. So this is 1/2. No? Okay? Nakaba? So kaya magka-cancel to. So makikita natin na equal lang siya sa a squared. Diba? So therefore, we have letters. Okay? So again, so mas maganda pang i-drawing nyo muna yung problem. No? So kasi minsan na may nakikita tayo na parang ways para sa easier calculation. Diba? So in this case, so hinati natin siya sa apat na parts. Apat na equal parts. We solve one part. We multiply it by 4. Diba? So we get the same solution. No? So any questions para dito? Okay. So again, so yun yung sa polar curve. No? So again, so tandaan nyo lang tong equation na to. Okay? So next. So okay na tayo dito. So we have the area bounded by a parametric curve naman tayo. No? Okay. So ano naman yung gagawin natin pag ang given sa atin is a parametric curve, no? Anong ibig sabihin ng parametric curve? So ibig sabihin yan, gumagamit tayo ng isang parameter para ma-measure natin yung value ng coordinates natin, di ba? So ang usual na gumagamit ito are the rectangular coordinates, di ba? Rectangular coordinates again are x and y. So yung x and y natin is a function of some parameter na ginagamit natin. So ang usual na ginagamit nating parameter is either t or theta, di ba? So kaya basically, so pagdating sa parametric curve, so we are given x is equal to f of t. So tapos we are also given y is equal to another function. So let's say g of t. Diba? So minsan, okay, so theta yung ginagamit nating parameter. Okay? So instead of t. Diba? So kaya wag kayo malilito dun sa theta. So yung problema kasi ng ibang estudyante, pag theta yung nakita nila, ang ina-assume kaagad nila polar curve, no? Pag yung kapartnered ng theta ay x, 'di ba? So or y, so again parametric 'yan, 'di ba? Pero pag ang kapartner ng theta is r, so then that's a polar curve, no? So again, so in this case, so we are considering a parametric curve, no? Okay, so again, so let's say we have this one, okay? So ito madali lang to. So kasi imagine nyo lang dito is this will just be, okay? So we have, if we solve for dx here, okay? So dx will just be given by f prime of t, so by chain rule, multiplied by dt, diba? So or, so in terms of theta, so f prime of theta d theta lang. So gamit lang kayo ng chain rule para ma-solve nyo yung dx, okay? Basta pag dy naman yung kailangan nyo, so then dy is equal to, so this will be g prime, no? So this will be g prime of t, so then dt, so or, pwede rin siya maging g prime of theta, d theta. Okay? Ako ba? So ganyan lang yung mangyayari. So kasi, kaya remember, diba? So pag gumamit tayo ng vertical strips, diba? So remember yung equation natin sa vertical strip, diba? So area, okay, so it's just equal to integral, so ng f upper minus f lower, diba? So then this is multiplied by dx, diba? Okay? So kaya magiging lang tong equal sa, so ganun pa rin. So f upper minus f lower. So y pala yung ginamit ko kanina, no? So not f. So this is y upper, so minus y lower. So but again, y natin is a function of g. So kaya this will be g upper minus g lower. So multiplied by, so again, dx. Pero yung dx natin is equal to this one. So we multiply f prime of t dt. Diba? So tapos, kunin nyo lang yung a natin saka yung b in terms of t or theta. So nakadepende na yung sa curve natin. Diba? So again, so this is at t is equal to a1. Diba? So then this is at 2t is equal to b1. Okay? Nakaba? So again, so ganyan lang yung pagkuha ng area. Diba? So again, so instead of directly using y saka x, diba? So dumadaan tayo sa another variable t or another variable theta. So ganyan lang yung nangyayari sa parametric curve. No? So pag horizontal strip naman, so then area is equal to, so we have x to the right minus x to the left multiplied by dy. Diba? So then, so pag nilipat natin to sa parameters niya, so then this will be f of, f right, so minus f left, no? So then this is multiplied by, okay, so this is g prime of t dt. Diba? So this is at t is equal to, so let's say c1, so hanggang t is equal to d1. So again, so ganyan naman yung ginagawa natin sa parametric curve. So again, parang nag-change variable lang tayo basically. Diba? So pero ganun pa rin. Parang nag-solve lang tayo ng rectangular curves. Diba? Okay? So let's try an example. Hypocycloid of 4 cusps. Diba? So yung hypocycloid of 4 cusps, ganito yung itsura niyan. Okay? So parang tala. Diba? Okay, so yun yung hypocycloid of 4 cusps na tinatawag. No? Okay, nakuha ba? So and pag in-analyze nyo to, so you will also get that this is, okay, so pwede nating hatiin sa 4 na parts. So then solve lang natin yung isang part, so then multiply it by 4. Diba? So but again, so try muna natin i-graph, diba? So yung problem natin. Okay? So pag mag-graph kayo dito, or pag kukuha kayo ng points, so mag-define lang kayo ng some values of theta. Diba? So again, yung gusto nating value dito is nasa first quadrant lang. So kaya ibig sabihin yung x and y na makukuha natin dapat lagi positive, diba? And saan ba kayo magkakaroon ng sin theta is greater than 0 saka cosine theta is greater than 0? Kasi diyan nakadepende kung magpa-positive or negative yung x and y natin. So mangyayari to for theta is from, okay, so 0 degree hanggang 90 degree. So first quadrant din. So first quadrant angle, no? So kaya yun lang i-consider natin values of theta. Okay? So we have theta. Okay? So then, so this is the value of x. So we will just follow the equation. So value of y. So let's start theta at 0. So then let's try pi over 6. So then pi over 3. So then pi over 2. Okay? So tingnan natin kung ano yung makukuha natin values ni x and y. No? Okay? So I'm gonna use table mode again. No? So again, para dito. So table, diba? So then, so sulat natin to. So since hindi natin ma-evaluate si A, Kasi constant yan. So itong cosine cube theta lang ilalagay natin. So we have cosine ni x. Okay? So naka-radians naman to. So again, so this quantity raised to the third power. Okay? So then, so ang start natin ay 0. So ang end natin ay pi over 2. Okay? And as you can see, di ba? So yung step naman natin dito is pi over 6. Nag-add tayo ng pi over 6 every time. No? Okay? So therefore, so this will be pi over 6. Okay? So then, so this will be 0. This will be 1 times a, kasi may a pa tayo dito. So this will be a. Pag pi over 6 naman, so we have 0.65. So times a. So okay, this is 0.65a. Okay? So then pag pi over 3 naman, so we have 0.125. Okay? So 0.125 times a. So this is 0.125a. No? So then pag pi over 2, so then that is 0. So therefore, this will be 0. Okay? Sa y-coordinate naman natin, so instead na cosine, nagilang siyang sine. Diba? So then, so palitan lang natin to ng sine. Okay? So tapos ganun pa rin, start is 0. Ang end natin is pi over 2. So tapos ang step natin is pi over 6. Okay? So then we get this one. Okay? So pag theta is 0, so then y natin is 0. Pag theta is pi over 6, so this is 0.125. Pero may naka-multiply pa dyang a, so kaya times a. So then pag pi over 3, so that's 0.65. Sa akin may naka-multiply pa dyan na a. Diba? So and lastly, so pag theta is pi over 2, so then f natin is equal to 1. So kaya yung y natin, so naka-multiply pa ng a, so that will be equal to a. No? Okay? So any questions dito? Okay? So and again, so test natin yung symmetry. Diba? So ano ba yung sa symmetry natin? So again, pag symmetric siya with respect to the x-axis, no? Okay, so ibig sabihin, so dapat, okay, so hindi magbabago yung x kasi ito lang yung x niya, diba? So hindi magbabago yung x pero yung y, so from positive magiging negative, diba? So therefore if we replace y with negative y, so we should get positive x, diba? Okay? So then, pag naman siya ay symmetric with respect sa y-axis, diba? So ang ibig sabihin niyan is, okay, so same lang yung value ng y, so pero isang positive x, yung isa naman negative x. Diba? So kaya pag yung x, pinalitan ko ng negative x, dapat hindi magbabago yung y. Or hindi magbabago yung function natin. Diba? Okay? So let's try solving this one. Diba? Or let's try symmetry. Okay? So ang gagawin natin is una, papalitan ko muna yung y ng negative y. Okay? So pag ginawa natin yan, so we have negative y, so is equal to a, so then sine cubed of theta. So then we can write this is y is equal to a, so then this is negative sine theta raised to the third power. Diba? So kasi this will give us a negative sign, so then pwede siyang malipat dun sa y. Diba? So and meron tayong identity, diba? So na, okay? So we have sine of, okay? Ano ba yung magbibigay sa atin ng negative sine of theta? So I think the sine of negative theta. Diba? So again, so this will give us a negative sine theta. Diba? Okay, so therefore, so pwede natin itong gawing so a, so times a sine of negative theta. So then this will be raised to the third power. So as you can see dito, sa equation na to yung theta, napalitan lang ng negative theta. No? Pag pinasok natin ngayon yan sa x, diba? So then you will get that. So theta, this will give us theta is equal to negative theta. So then substituting dun sa x, so again, this is equal to a cosine cube of negative theta. So then, so again, alam natin na yung cosine of negative theta is just equal to cosine of theta. Diba? So therefore, mawawala lang yung negative sign. So this is cosine cubed of theta. Diba? So which means, yung y, napalitan ng negative y, pero yung x, diba? So hindi nagbago ng equation. Okay? So therefore, so this is symmetric. Okay? So with respect to the x-axis. Okay? Okay? So pag symmetric naman siya sa y-axis, diba? So then, okay, so you will get x is equal to negative x. Diba? So dito naman tayo magsa-substitute. Okay? So we have negative x will be equal to a. So this is cosine cube of theta. So our x will be equal to a. So then this will be cosine of, okay, so theta. So again, so this is multiplied by, so again, this is negative cosine of theta. So this quantity raised to the third power. Okay? Okay ba? So kaya, yun yung magiging equation natin. Diba? So kaya dito, diba? So again, so kailangan lang natin ito ibalik sa cosine. So ano ba yung magbibigay sa atin dyan ng identity? So we have cosine of 180 minus theta. So pag ginamitan nyo ito ng difference identity, cos cosine sin, cos 180 cos 1 theta plus sin 180 sin theta. But sin 180 ay 0, kaya matitira lang is cosine 180 cosine theta. Cosine 180 is negative 1. So kaya ibig sabihin this is negative cosine of theta. So again, isa yan sa mga trigonometric identities natin. So kaya pwede natin itong palitan ng, so a, so cosine cubed of 180 minus theta. So kaya pag pinalitan natin yung x ng negative x, yung theta, mapapalitan ng 180 minus theta. Diba? So then solving for y, so y will be equal to a, so then sine of 180 minus theta. So then this quantity raised to that third power. Diba? So sa sine naman, so pag ginamitan natin ito ng difference identity, so sin cos cosine, sine 180 cosine theta minus cosine 180 sin theta. But again, sine 180 is 0, kaya matitira lang is yung negative cosine 180 sin theta. Cosine 180 is negative 1, so times negative 1 is positive 1. So kaya magigitong positive sin theta. Diba? So that's why yung y natin will be a sine cubed of theta. So pinilitan natin yung x ng negative x, pero yung y walang nagbago. Diba? So ibig sabihin, so this is also symmetric with respect to y-axis. No? So ibig sabihin, kahit first quadrant lang yung alam natin, so pwede na natin gamitin yung symmetry para ma-drawing natin yung sa second quadrant saka yung sa third quadrant. Okay? So then, so let's try to graph this one. No? Okay, so again, so x-axis, so y-axis, so then this is the origin. Okay, so let's start so with this one. So theta is 0, diba? So x is a, y is 0. So ibig sabihin, so a units. So then 0 units yung y, so therefore ito yung point natin. Okay, so next is 0.65a, so 0.125a. So let's define this is our a. So ibig sabihin, so ito yung 0.125a, diba? So we have this one. Tapos yung 0.65a, so will be around here siguro. Okay? So therefore, so we have a point here. Okay? So tapos, next is 0.125a, so 0.65a. So let's say ito yung 0.125a. Okay? So then, so dito naman, so let's say yung 0.65a. Okay? So therefore, we have a point here. So then lastly, we have 0a. Diba? So x is 0, y is a. So we also have a point here. No? So pag dinrawing natin yung curve natin, diba? So you will get so something like this. Okay? Okay ba? So again, so ganyan yung curve niya. Diba? And since symmetric siya with respect to the x-axis, so pwede natin i-mirror so sa x-axis. No? Okay? So then, so since symmetric siya with respect sa y-axis, pwede natin siyang i-mirror sa y-axis. No? So therefore, so we can form so this curve here. Okay? Okay ba? So then, so again, so dahil sa symmetry niya, so pwede nating hatiin to sa 4 na parts. So and we can just solve, diba? So the area of one part. So for example, we can just solve this area, then multiply it by 4. Okay? Okay ba? So again, so yun yung advantage ng symmetry, diba? So pag marunong kayo mag-check ng symmetry ng graphs natin, no? Okay? So let's use vertical strip. So kayo na yung bahala kung gusto niyo gamitin yung horizontal strip. So pareho lang naman yung magiging solution. Okay? Nako ba? Or pareho lang yung magiging sagot. Okay? So kaya kahit anong gamitin nyo, pareho lang yung kalalabasan. No? So kaya as a practice nyo na lang, So try nyo rin gamitin yung horizontal strip. No? So again, so sa vertical strip, this will be dx. So kasi along the x-axis. So rin ito yung height niya. Diba? Makikita natin yung boundaries ng height natin is the function itself. Diba? So yung x-axis natin. And yung x-axis naman natin is y is equal to 0. That's the lower boundary. Yung upper boundary naman natin is given by, so y is equal to a sine cubed of theta. Okay? Okay ba? So then, so let's try to solve this. So again, so from the given, so y is equal to a sine cube of theta. Okay? So then yung x naman natin so is given by a cosine cubed of theta. So if we try to solve for dx, kasi may dx tayo dito, so then this will be a, so multiplied by, so power rule, so 3 cosine squared of theta. So again, exponent na multiply, 3 minus 1 is 2, kaya cosine squared na lang. So by chain rule, multiplied by the derivative of cosine, that is negative sign. So this is negative sign of theta. Diba? So then simplifying this, so you will get this to be negative 3a. So this is cosine squared of theta, so then multiplied by sine of theta. Diba? So ano yung limits of integration natin? So from x is 0 hanggang x is equal to a. So ito yung magbibigay sa atin ng x ay 0. Ito yung magbibigay sa atin ng x and a. So therefore, ito yung limits of integration natin. From pi over 2 papunta sa 0. Okay? So therefore, so again, saan equal yung area natin? So area is equal to the integral. So limits of integration, so from pi over 2 to 0. Okay? So y upper minus y lower. So again, so this is multiplied by dx. Okay? So this will be integral. So from pi over 2 to 0. Again, ano yung y upper natin? So ito yung y upper. Diba? So a sine cubed of theta. Ano yung y lower natin? Y lower ay 0. So we can cancel that. So then ano yung dx natin? So dx is this one. Diba? So we have, okay? So nakalimutan ko yung d theta. Okay? So this is negative 3a. Okay? So cosine squared theta. So then we have sine theta d theta. Okay? So now let's simplify. Okay? So note, meron tayong property sa integral, diba? So na pag pinagbaliktad natin yung limits of integration, mamumultiply yung integral natin sa negative 1, diba? So therefore, so we can write this as negative integral. So pagpalitin natin to, so magiging siyang 0 to pi over 2, diba? So tapos we have a, saka negative 3a. So labas natin yan. So negative 1 times negative 3a squared, that's positive 3a squared. So therefore, so this will be positive. So we have positive 3a squared. So may nakalimutan pa pala ako dito. So again, so kailangan natin itong i-multiply ng 4 kasi 4 yan. So kalahati pa lang yung kino-consider natin. So kaya dapat may 4 dito, may 4 dito. Diba? So kaya 4 times 3 is 12. So kaya this will be positive 12a squared. Okay? So then, so we have integral, so from 0 to pi over 2. Okay, so then we have sine cubed times sine. So that's sine to the 4th theta. So then we have cosine squared. So cosine squared theta. So then d theta. Okay? Nakaba? So then, so as you can see, so dito applicable si Wallis rule, Wallis formula. Diba? So using Wallis formula here, so this will be 12a squared. So multiplied by m minus 1. M is 4. So that's 4 minus 1 is 3. Minus 1 is 1. So kaya stop na tayo dito. So then we have n is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. So kaya enough na yan. So then divided by, so m plus n, 4 plus 2 is 6. Minus 2 ay 4. Minus 2 ay 2. So again, pag umabot ka na ng 2, so stop na dyan. Diba? So then this is multiplied by, so alpha. Again, anong alpha natin dito? These are both even number. So kaya alpha is pi over 2. So we have pi over 2 here. Okay? So then, so this will be given by, so 6 times 2 ay 12. So we can cancel this. So 3 times 1 times 1 is 3. So we have 3 times pi times a squared. So then sa denominator naman, 4 times 2 lang. So we have 8. So we have 3 pi over, 3 pi a squared over a, or 3/8 pi a squared. So we have letter B. Okay? Okay ba? So any questions para dito? Okay? Questions? Okay? So any questions so far? No? So again, so yun yung sa parametric curve natin. No? Okay? So again, pareho lang siya dun sa rectangular curve, diba? So pero instead na using y and x as the variable, gagamit tayo ng another variable. So yung parameter natin. So pag nakakita kayo ng t, diba? So or theta sa equation, tapos may x and y. So again, so yun most likely yun ay parametric curves, no? So kaya ganito lang yung gagawin yung solution. Okay? So tandaan niyo na lang tong mga given dito sa kayong sagot, no? So kasi pag lumabas to sa board exam, most likely ito pa rin yung tanong. No? Okay? Okay ba? So, yan. So, I think 2 beses na itong lumabas sa board exam. Okay? So, itong problem na to. Okay? So, sa REE pa lang yun. Diba? So, kasi lumalabas din to sa ibang courses. Okay? So, any questions? Okay? So, okay na tayo dito. So now let's discuss, diba? So yung tinatawag naman nating volume, diba? So of solid of revolution. So yung solid of revolution naman. Okay? So as the name implies, pag sinabi nating solid of revolution, so this is a solid, diba? So which is makukuha natin so by revolving a curve about an axis or by revolving an area, okay, so with respect to an axis, diba? So for example, okay, so let's say we have this curve. Okay? So let's say we have that curve and gusto natin siyang, let's say, i-revolve so about this axis, di ba? So then, so you will see na, so pag ginawa natin yan, okay? So then, so you will form something like this. Okay? Okay? So again, so ito yung tinatawag natin volume of revolution, di ba? And yung pinaka-idea natin for a volume of revolution is, okay, so magkakaroon kasi siya dito ng cross-section. So kung titignan natin lahat ng cross-section niya, pagdating sa isang volume of revolution, the cross-section are always, okay, circular. Okay, naka ba? So which means, diba? So if we consider, let's say, a certain thickness here, so let's say we consider this one. So this is a circular disc, diba? So for a circular disc or for a circular cylinder, so the volume is just given by pi r squared h, di ba? Kaya kailangan lang natin i-add up, di ba? So yung pi r squared h ng mga cylindrical discs natin dito, or yung mga circular discs natin, di ba? So now, so again, ang una nyo kailangan malaman dito is itong thickness, di ba, ng disc. So tawagin na lang natin as dh. Nakadepende kasi siya kung nasa ang axis yan. Pwede yung dx, pwede rin siya maging dy, di ba? Kaya ito yung una nyo kailangan malaman. Ano yung dh, di ba? So this sa solid of revolution natin. Pangalawa, diba, so is yung radius. Diba? Okay? So let me restart lang muna yung PowerPoint. Okay.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Okay. So let me redraw this now. Okay. So then, okay, so again, so let's consider this disk. So again, so we will form something like this. No? Okay. So then, so again, kailangan natin makuha dito is yung radius, diba, so of the disk. And makikita natin na yung radius ng disk naman dito is simply the distance between the curve, diba, so and the axis of revolution. Okay, nakuha ba? So kaya madali na natin masasolve yan so pag meron tayong figure. Okay? So then, ibig sabihin, so the differential volume, diba, so of the disk. So again, this is simply pi r squared times the height. Ang height natin dito ay dh. Diba? So kaya to solve for the whole volume, so i-integrate lang natin yan. So we have pi integral so ng r squared dh. So ito yung magiging limits of integration natin. Diba? Okay, so let's say this is a or b. Okay? So again, it can be in the x or y axis. So kaya depende pa yan sa problem natin. Okay? Okay ba? So again, so ito yung tinatawag natin na disk method. Okay? Okay ba? So that is the disk method. So disk method. Okay? So another way, diba? So para makapag-solve kayo ng volume of revolution is tinatawag din naman natin as the cylindrical shells method. Diba? So again, so for instance, so let's say we are given this one. So let's say ito yung curve natin. Okay? So we are given this curve. Okay? So tas i-revolve natin siya about this axis. Diba? So then you will form something like this. Okay? Okay ba? So then, so pag kinonsider natin again yung mga cross-section nito, so all cross-section are still circular. Diba? Pagdating sa cylindrical shells method, diba? So ang idea naman natin dyan is we get yung mga cylindrical shells. Okay? Naka ba? So basically, diba? So if we consider, so itong parang strip na to, so consider this strip, diba? So dun sa volume natin, tapos na-revolve natin siya dun sa axis of revolution natin, so we will form so something like a cylindrical shell. No? So kumbaga parang imagine nyo lang na parang yung mga vertical strips natin, diba? So dun sa area, ni-revolve din natin about the axis of revolution. So kaya yung mangyayari dyan is yung volume natin, so will just be the sum so of this cylindrical shells. No? So kaya magkakaroon ka dito ng parang cylindrical shells. No? So again, so that's the idea. So for the cylindrical shell method. Okay? So kaya pagdating sa cylindrical shell method, yung boundary natin or the limits of integration will start from the axis so of revolution papunta doon sa pinakadulo ng curve natin. So ito lang i-consider natin na limits of integration. So let's say this is A, this is B. Okay? Okay ba? So then for a cylindrical shell, saan equal yung area nito or yung volume, that is the lateral area of the cylinder, that's 2 pi RH multiplied by the thickness, no? So itong thickness na to, so ito yung gagawin natin as dr. So kasi ito yung radius, di ba? So kayo sabihin yung thickness na to is the change in the radius, so therefore that's dr, di ba? So and the height, okay? So again, so tawagin natin as h. Makikita natin na distance lang siya mula sa curve papunta dun sa axis natin, di ba? So kaya so yan yung magiging h natin. So kaya makikita natin yan from the figure, diba? So dun sa problem. Okay? So therefore, okay, so para sa cylindrical shells method naman, yung dV natin ay simply equal sa 2 pi RH dr, no? So therefore, solving for the volume, that's 2 pi, so integral ng RH dr, no? So this will be from A to B. Okay? So ito yung tinatawag natin as the cylindrical shell method. No? Okay? So yung isang method pa na kino-consider natin is the washer method, no? So or the ring method, no? So yung idea naman doon is pag may butas ka sa gitna, no? So imagine niyo na lang pag may butas ka sa gitna, diba? So kailangan niyo lang siyang ibawas. Diba? So kaya pag binawas natin yan, magkakaroon ka lang ng outside radius saka inside radius. So yung outside radius, babawasan natin ng inside radius, diba? So that's why, so pag washer method naman yung i-consider natin, magkakaroon ka lang ng minus, no? So again, this is the outside radius squared minus inside radius squared dh. No? So again, so ito naman yung sa washer method natin. So volume is pi, integral from A to B. So ng outside radius squared minus inside radius squared. So multiplied by dh. So again, so this is what we call the washer method. Okay? Okay ba? So yung last but not the least na method, so for calculating the volume of solid of revolution, so is yung tinatawag natin na Pappus theorem. So Pappus theorem yung pinakamadaling way or pinakamabilis na way para mag-solve ng volume ng solid of revolution. So although meron tayong dalawang requirement, diba? So para ma-solve nyo yung solid ng volume ng solid of revolution. So yung isang requirement natin is the area, diba? So na ni-revolve natin about an axis. And pangalawa is dapat alam natin yung location ng centroid, no? So kaya dapat alam natin yung mga direct formulas for the areas and the centroid, diba? So of common figures natin, especially parabola. Kasi ang karamihan parabola yung given. Okay? So or yung conic section. So we have yung ellipse, semi-ellipse, quarter ellipse, diba? Circle, semicircle, quarter circle, so then parabola or semi-parabola. Diba? So dapat alam natin yung mga direct formulas for those. Okay? So kaya try nyo hanapin, diba? So yung mga listahan natin ng direct formulas ng area saka volume, area saka centroid, so ng conic sections. Okay? So yeah, so by yung Pappus theorem naman, so ang sinasabi niya lang is that the volume is equal to the area multiplied by, so this is 2 pi, so times c bar. So yung c bar is yung layo ng centroid ng area natin from the axis of revolution. For example dito, so ito yung i-consider natin na area. Diba? So this is the area. Okay, so ni-revolve natin about the axis, diba? And pangalawa, so let's say ito yung centroid niya. So ito yung centroid G. So we have the centroid, diba? So yung layo nito from the axis of revolution, yan yung c bar. That's the equation. Okay? So kaya yun yung mga consideration natin. So tatandaan lang natin yung washer method is ginagamit lang natin pag may butas, diba? So yung disk method naman ginagamit lang natin pag walang butas yung solid. Yung cylindrical shell method, pwede natin gamitin may butas man or wala yung solid of revolution. So itong Pappus theorem naman, ginagamit din natin to may butas man or wala yung solid of revolution. So ang importante lang sa Pappus theorem, diba? So para magamit natin yung Pappus theorem, diba? So is dapat hindi nag-i-intersect, diba? Or hindi lumalampas yung area natin so dun sa solid of revolution. Okay? So for example, pag ganito yung curve natin, ito yung area na i-revolve natin, diba? So again, hindi pwede to, no? Hindi pwedeng i-solve using Pappus theorem kasi so meron kang overlap, diba? So dito sa part na to. Okay? Okay? So yung tatandaan natin dyan. Okay? So any questions for this part? Okay. So let's try some examples. No? So I think hanggang dito lang yung masosolve natin today since malapit na rin mag 5 p.m. No? Okay? So again, so yung mga matitira naman dito sa integral calculus, so i-discuss naman natin so next meeting, so bukas, no? Okay? So tapos tatapusin natin yan hanggang differential equation. So then we have advanced math. So yung Provenstad naman konti lang, diba? So mga basic na yung pinaka-basic lang na mga problems natin. Okay? So let's try to solve this one. So the area bounded by the curve, so this is a parabola. So in the line x is equal to 3. So x is equal to 3 is a vertical line, no? Kasi x coordinate yung given. So then is revolve about the line x is equal to 3. Find the volume generated. No? So let's try to graph the problem first, no? So we are given y squared is equal to 12x. Okay. So then, diba? So again, so this is of the form. So kasi naka-standard form na yan, diba? So again, so makikita natin na this is of the form y squared is equal to 4ax. Diba? So this time, y yung naka-square. So this is opening to the right or left. Pero since positive 12 to, so this is opening to the right. Diba? So this opens to the right. Diba? And again, so pag ganito, na wala nakasubtract sa y and x, diba? So then, we know that the vertex is at the origin. Okay? Okay? So yung pangalawang step natin is to solve the point of intersection. Diba? So nung line na, nung boundaries natin. So ang boundary kasi natin dyan is yung curve, saka yung line x is equal to 3. So let's get the point of intersection. So let's solve this at x is equal to 3. So we have y squared is equal to 12x. Diba? So then y squared is equal to 12 times 3. So then y is equal to plus or minus 6. Diba? So if y is equal to positive 6, diba? So since x is equal to 3 to, okay? So then you will have, so x is equal to 3. So tapos y is positive 6. Diba? So pag negative 6 naman, so x is equal to 3, y is negative 6. So ito yung points of intersection natin. So therefore, so ito yung mga points, diba? So na magde-define dun sa parabola natin. Okay? So pwede na natin i-draw ito. Okay? Okay, so this is our, let's say, x-axis, so then y-axis, no? So this is the origin, okay? So first, so we have the vertex at the origin, so ito yung vertex natin. Okay, so then we have positive 3, 6, saka positive 3, negative 6. So let's say this is positive 3. So then let's say this is positive 6. So then this is negative 6, diba? So then we have, okay, so a point here. So then we also have a point here. Okay, so therefore, this is our parabola. Okay, so yan yung parabola natin. No? Okay, so tapos, diba? So ito yung ating line, diba? So na x is equal to 3. So again, vertical line passing through x is equal to 3, diba? So ito yung ating axis of revolution. Okay, so this is given by x is equal to 3. Okay, so then pag ni-revolve natin dyan yung curve natin, so yung parabola, diba? So then, so we can see, so na ito yung lalabas na volume natin dito. So you will form something like this. No? Okay? So para siyang football, 'di ba? So yung shape niya. Okay? So again, so yan yung magiging volume natin, 'di ba? So let's try to solve this, 'di ba? So again, since walang butas yan sa gitna, pwede nating applyan 'to ng disk method, 'di ba? So remember na yung sa disk method natin, okay? So again, yung mga disk natin are oriented perpendicular din sa axis of revolution. So kaya dito yung disk natin will be horizontal, okay? Okay ba? So we will have horizontal disks, 'di ba? So let's consider, for example, this cross section, di ba? So which is just a circular disc. So we have something like this. Okay. Okay, so we have this circular disc. Okay? Okay ba? So then, so ito yung magiging thickness, di ba? So ng disc natin. Okay? So as you can see, yung thickness natin dito sa akin, this is DH. Pero base dun sa orientation natin, this is in the direction of the y coordinate, di ba? So therefore, this will be given by dy. Okay, so as for the radius naman, so makukuha natin ito yung radius, di ba? So of the disc. Okay, so therefore, distance lang siya, di ba? So between, so yung point natin sa parabola, tapos yung point natin dun sa axis of revolution, di ba? And again, so we know that this is 3 units. Okay, so kasi vertical line, so the distance between them is 3 units minus 0 units, di ba? So y-axis is x is 0. So kailan natin 3 units to, di ba? Okay? So this is 3 units, okay? And by definition of the coordinates natin, alam natin na mula dito sa y-axis, papunta doon sa point sa parabola natin is given by x. Diba? Yung x na yan, pwede natin makuha dito sa equation ito. Diba? So therefore, so saan equal yung radius natin? So this will just be equal to, so 3 minus x. Diba? Okay? So therefore, meron na tayong radius, diba? Saka yung h natin in terms of x and y. So we can now set up so yung ating equation. Diba? So again, so first, the differential volume of the disk. So this is given by, so again, pi r squared dh. No? Pero again, yung r natin ay simply 3 minus x. Tapos yung dh naman natin is dy. Okay? So kaya para makumpleto natin to, kailangan natin palitan yung x in terms of y kasi dy to. So kaya gagamitin lang natin to. So you will get x is y squared over 12. So ipalit natin dyan. So you will get pi multiplied by 3. So minus y squared over 12. So then this quantity squared dy. Diba? So again, so this is our dv. Okay? Ako ba? So then solving for the volume. So kasi isa na lang yung variable natin. So pwede na natin yung isolve. So then this will be 3 minus y squared over 12. So this quantity squared dy. So ano limits of integration natin? Since dy yan, so dito tayo titingin sa y-axis. So from negative 6 hanggang positive 6. Diba? So pero again, due to symmetry, pwedeng kalahatiin nyo lang. Pwedeng 0 to 6 lang, just multiply it by 2. No? So pero ito na lang yung gamitin natin. So we have volume therefore is equal to, okay? So this is pi. So then integral, so of 3 minus, so we have y squared over 12. So 3 minus, so y squared over 12. So then quantity squared. So from negative 6 to positive 6. Okay, so you will get this to be 181. So this will be in cubic units. No? So therefore the answer is letter C. Okay? Okay ba? So any questions para dito? Okay. So pwede nyo rin to actually ma-solve using cylindrical shells. No? So pero iwan ko na sa inyo yung solution. Okay? Nakuha ba? So set up ko lang yung equation. Okay? Nakuha ba? So para matry nyo rin. Diba? So kung gusto nyo gamitan ng cylindrical shells. Okay? So pero hindi ko na isosolve yung integral. No? So medyo complicated kasi yung integral dito ng cylindrical shells kasi magiging ano siya. Ang tawag dito, magkakaroon siya ng radical, diba, ng square root. Okay. So cylindrical shell, diba? So meron tayong dalawang option. Okay, so for cylindrical shell. So again, so ang gagamitin lang kasi natin doon ay strips, diba? Tapos yung strips natin dapat parallel sa axis of revolution. So kaya for example, sa case natin dito, so we can use this strip here. Diba? So again, so we have a strip that is parallel to the axis of revolution. Okay? But as you can see, due to the symmetry of the parabola, pwede natin itong hatiin sa dalawa. Diba? So therefore, if ang i-consider lang natin is yung upper half, so nung na-form natin dito na figure, so then pwedeng hanggang dito lang yung gawin nating strip. Diba? Pwedeng kalahatiin din natin yung strip. Diba? And actually, that is much easier to solve. Diba? So compared sa pag kinonsider natin yung buong strip. Diba? So nung nabuo natin ang solid of revolution. Okay? So tapos ito yung i-revolve natin about the axis of revolution to form the cylindrical shell. So pero ang kailangan lang naman natin doon, 'di ba? So is yung thickness nito. So which is as you can see along the x-axis. So therefore this is simply dx. Okay? So then kailangan din natin ng height. So basically itong length na to. So pero as you can see, this is just the distance of the given point on the parabola and the x-axis. By definition, that is the y-coordinate. Diba? So, and pangatlo, the radius. Diba? So, yung layo nito from the axis of revolution. Pero kanina nakuha na natin yan as 3 minus x. Kasi again, this is the x coordinate. So, tapos alam din natin na ito ay 3 units. Diba? So, therefore, so if we set up yung differential volume natin, okay? Okay, so pag i-consider natin yung differential volume ng cylindrical shell natin, so again, that's 2 pi RH dr. Diba? So kaya dito, so base dun sa mga nakuha natin, so yung radius ay 3 minus x. No? Tapos yung height natin, so is y. So tapos yung dr natin ay dx. Diba? So then substitute lang natin, so yung mga given. So again, since dx to, so kaya kailangan naka in terms of x tayo. Diba? So saan equal yung y? So mula dito, so square root of 12x yung y natin. So therefore, this is square root of 12x dx. Diba? So then to solve for the volume, so integrate lang natin yan. So mula sa, so again, so dito, magsisimula tayo sa x is 0 hanggang sa axis of revolution lang. So kaya from 0 to 3 lang. No? Kasi pag lumampas tayo dun sa 3, diba? So then meron na yung kapartner dun sa kabila, no? So kumbaga pag ni-revolve natin yan at pag ni-revolve natin yan so with respect to the axis of revolution, madodoble yung cylindrical shell natin. So kaya hanggang dito lang sa axis of revolution, no? So then this will be 3 minus x, diba? So then square root of 12x dx. So again, kayo na yung bahalang mag-solve nito. So diretso nyo na lang sa calculator, makukuha nyo dito yung 181. Okay? So pareho lang yung lalabas. Diba? And again, so yung final solution natin, diba, so is by using Pappos theorem. Okay, nakuha ba? Sa Pappos theorem naman, so again, ang kailangan lang natin is the direct formula natin for the area na ni-revolve natin about the axis. Diba? So and the location of the centroid. Diba? Okay? So kaya kung alam niyo yung direct formulas natin para sa parabola, so magandang gamitin yung Pappos theorem, diba? So para sa board exam. Kasi wala nang integration na involved doon, diba? Direct formulas lang. Okay? So again, sana yung mga tatandaan natin formulas. Okay? So again, for a parabolic segment, okay? So let's say ito yung parabolic segment natin. Okay? So again, sinabi ko na sa inyo kanina yung area nito. So this is 2/3 base times height, diba? So again, so this is our axis of the parabola. Okay, so then this is the height of the parabola. Diba? So height. So then this is the base of the parabola. Okay? So yung tatandaan natin pagdating sa centroid ng parabola, the centroid of the parabola is located on the axis of the parabola. So somewhere dito sa gitna, diba? So yung centroid natin. This is the centroid G. And pag mineasure natin to, so mula dun sa base natin, so mula sa base ng parabola, so this is just given by, so 8/5. And 3/5, diba? So this is 3/5. Tama. So 3/5, diba? So ng 2/5 ng height. No? So not 3/5. This is 2/5 ng height. Okay? Okay? So again, so yun yung tatandaan nyo yung pagdating sa parabola. So therefore, so pagdating dun sa given sa atin dito, diba? So since we are considering this area, okay? Okay ba? So then, so ito yung base natin dyan, mula dito hanggang dito. So that is given by 6 minus -6, that's 12 units. Yung height ng parabola natin is mula dito hanggang dito. So alam natin na yun ay 3 units. Diba? And again, the centroid is located on the axis. Diba? So kasi axis ng parabola natin dito, x-axis. So therefore, somewhere here, pag mineasure natin siya from the base of the parabola, so again, this is 2/5 ng height. Okay? So this is 2/5 of the height. So ito yung height natin. Okay? Nakuha ba? And nagkataon dito, so na ito na rin mismo yung axis of revolution natin. Therefore, by definition natin sa Pappos theorem, dito na rin yung ating C-bar. Diba? So dun sa equation. Okay? So therefore, solving for the area, okay? So area muna tayo. So again, so yung base is 12 units. Yung height is 3 units. So therefore, this will be 24 square units. So again, that's for the area. And for C-bar, so again, this is equivalent to 2/5 ng height. So base dun sa figure natin, di ba? So 2/5 ng height. So yung height natin ay 3 units. So therefore, okay? So this is 2/5, so times 3 units. So this is equal to 1.2, no? So again, so yun yung C-bar natin, okay? So then solving, di ba? So dun sa volume natin by Pappos theorem. So again, this is equal to area multiplied by 2 pi C-bar. So again, so ito yung Pappos theorem. Di ba? So we have area natin, so is equivalent sa 24 square units multiplied by 2 pi multiplied by C-bar. So multiplied by 1.2. So yung volume natin dito is 24 times 2 pi times 1.2. So we get 181. So this will be in cubic units. Diba? Okay, so as you can see, pareho lang yung lumalabas sa sagot. And sobrang simple lang ng solution. Diba? So kasi alam natin yung mga direct formula. Okay? So kung hindi nyo alam yung direct formula, just derive. Diba? So kaya-kaya naman yung i-derive using integral calculus. Diba? So yung centroid, pag-aaralan pa natin after ng volume of revolution. Okay? So are there any questions so para sa problem na to? Okay? Okay? So again, so hanggang dito lang muna yung lecture natin.
Recording stopped.
Okay? So since 5 p.m. na rin. Diba? So hanggang 5 p.m. lang yung ano natin, discussion. Okay? So, sabihan ko lang si Sir.
Hello, Sir Raymond. Tapos ka na?
Opo, Sir. Bali bukas ulit, Sir, no?
Ha?
Bukas ulit yung next na meeting.
Yes. The same time, 8 to 5 tomorrow.
Super, Sir.
My dear student, okay lang kayo. Yung secretary natin, nandiyan pa ba? Hello. siguro nakapag-check naman na ng attendance yun. O, sige. Ilang subjects pa bukas sa Raymond?
Bali sir, continuation ng integral. So medyo mabilis na naman yung part na yun. Tapos DE, advanced saka proba sir. Mabibilis lang naman yung mga subjects na yun sir.
Ako, okay. Konti na lang yung mga
Yung sa advanced math saka proba sir, mabilis lang.
Sige. So, ang importante matapos bukas.
Apas.
Para okay ulit ang ang signal ng PLDT bukas. Sige. I-send ko na lang ulit sa sa'yo at saka sa GC namin yung
Sige sir.
ano namin.
Gusto niyo ba sir, send ko rin sa inyo yung ginamit kong PowerPoint ngayon? Yung ginamit kong PowerPoint ngayon, pwede kong i-send sa inyo sir.
Sige.
Sige sir, send ko rin sa inyo.
Yung mga estudyante, wala na silang katanungan?
Sir, kung may questions din sila, pwedeng i-send nyo sa kanila yung Facebook account ko. Para pwede sila mag-message sa akin. If ever.
Sige. Para sige, hindi ko na muna i-close. Yung hindi magsa-sign out, yung huling magsa-sign out, tiyak tulog yan. Sige, you may drop the call if you want. Thank you. Okay na, Raymond. Okay na.
Sige sir. Salamat din.
Thank you, Sir Raymond.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Sir.
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 Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Ingat, sir.
Salamat, sir.